Flav, it's supposed to rain Sunday. Depending on how heavy the rain is, 49ers might not have their pass game, and Watson being able to run plus their D will be very close. Number one, we don't know if Watson's going to play. If he is going to play, his shoulder's all sorts of messed up. Okay. Also, I don't think the Niners need to pass to beat anybody. They got this guy, Christian McCaffrey. He's pretty freaking good. And I know the Browns have a good defense, but Dallas,
they don't have Nick Chubb anymore.
Too. Like, I don't know.
They don't have Nick Chubb anymore either.
Right. And so it's going to be Kareem Hunt.
Yeah, how's Cleveland going to move the ball? That's the thing. The Niners, we talk about their offense all the time. Like, their defense is still really, really, really ridiculously good.
And,
as Zoolander would say.
There's talk of, is this defense, is Steve Wilkes like getting up to speed? It's like, well, here they are allowing less than 2 touchdowns a game. I mean, they're allowing 13.6 points per game this year.
That's incredible. Better than last year. And I was nitpicking Steve Wilkes after the Cardinals game. I was like, man, where are these sacks? And so I started watching the film, and I think I realized what he's trying to do. I think he's actually correcting the issue of giving up all those scrambles to quarterbacks. You're not seeing these pass rushers just wildly go upfield and rush past the quarterback to try to get around the edge. Bosa, Farrell, Jackson, they're really they're sort of sacrificing their production to keep the quarterback in the pocket. And I think the way Wilkes is thinking, which is right on, is if we just keep the quarterback in one spot and just constrict the pocket and put pressure on him, we don't even need to sack him. He's going to play terribly. All he's going to do is check the ball down over and over again. We'll make the tackle. We'll win by 20. So who cares how many sacks we have? And the fact that Bosa and everyone's buying into that is big, because for years they were just all out to get sacks, and they would get burned by old Russell Wilson or like Kyler Murray, like anyone who could get out of the pocket a little bit. Jared Stidham, that was the end all be all. That happened last year. They've improved so much on defense since that game. Never happened anymore.
0.6 points a game. It's ridiculous. Gray Fox 198 says, Grant, I read that players think teams are trying to injure Christian McCaffrey. Have you heard something about that?
I mean, I'm not in these meetings, but you heard, what's his face? What was his name? Greg Williams talking about Frank Gore and what the Saints wanted to do to him in the 2011. Yeah, man. I mean, you heard that. Like, you're not allowed to explicitly say it, but it's implied. I'm sure the defensive coordinator goes in front of their team, I'm guessing, every week and says, starts and ends with this little Caucasian 200-pound running back. You're going to let this little guy, you're going to let this little white boy run all over you? I'm sure they say stuff like that. I'm trying to rile them up. Like, you're going to let this little pretty boy run on you? And it's implied, like, rough him up, man. Like, show him what it's all about. And it's like, first of all, that's not going to work. He's too good. And second of all, the NFL's protecting Christian McCaffrey. He's protecting Brock Purdy. The Niners are the darlings of the NFL. And you're not going to just, be some inferior team coming in to play the Niners and ruining this for the league. This is good for the league. You're not taking this away from anyone. Yeah, they're going to call a 15-yard penalty on you, and then they're going to walk over to Christian McCaffrey, and then they're asking, hey, you all right? And they're going to probably like dust off his jersey, make sure he's all good. Hey, you good, man. Keep doing what you're doing. I'm a big fan.
Did you see the 26 million people that watched Niners Cowboys on Sunday Night Football? It was the most watched Week 5 Sunday Night Football game ever. 30 million
26
people.
Million. I'd like to know how much are like from America and how much are international, because they're trying to make this more of an international sport. And I'd like to know, where are people watching the sport not in America? I was impressed when I was in Mexico City how passionate that game was. Like, that was actually the best football game I've ever been to, the one in Mexico City. That was cool.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, because I don't know, you were there. I mean, I feel like people are kind of they're watching the game, they're looking at their phones, they're at the lounges. Man, at Stadium Azteca, there's no lounges, man. It's just a big bowl, and everyone's yelling like it's the World Cup, and that the Niners are the only team that might booing the other team, booing the Cardinals. It was so good. People don't boo the other team. They don't really care in America. I don't know. Desensitized.
And you also had 87,000 people.
So cool.
That's the actual number.
It was so cool.
Levi's, the first quarter on Levi's, I thought was like all adrenaline. Like, I think everybody was so pumped up. It was just like we were screaming for every play, before every play, after every play. It was
nah. See, the way I look at it, is that the home crowd at Levi's is like one of the weakest Niners home crowds. Like the home crowd for the Niners at SoFi is way better. I don't know why.
Well,
I
you
don't
know
know. And
better
the
than me.
home crowd in Mexico City was like the tippy top. That was the best thing I've ever seen. The Mexican 49er fans are way more passionate than the American 49er fans. And the Southern California 49er fans go way harder than the Northern California. Levi's, you got to step it up. You got to step it up. There's way too many people not in your seats, chilling in the lounges, all in the video, dancing. No, you got to be out there with the passion like they got SoFi and at Stadium Azteca. Because, I mean, honestly, the way they fill these stadiums on the road is crazy.
Yes, it
They
is.
got something to prove on the road. At Levi's, they're like, man, this isn't Candlestick. I don't know why we're here.
Marcel says, I love how enthusiastic you are about your craft, guys. I mean, look, if you can't be happy and enthusiastic right now, you're in the wrong bit. You got to get out. It's never getting better than this unless they win a Super Bowl. Like, this is peak regular season. This is as happy as you could be in the regular season. So yeah, you better be enthusiastic. Victory Jones says, Kyle's Andy Reid before the Super Bowl win. Same story and failures.
Yeah, I mean, but they have their. I don't know about that. I mean, I don't remember Andy Reid's journey. I just know that Kyle Shanahan's particular story is very unique, and it's incredible because he is so good, and yet he's defined so far by losing in the biggest games of his best seasons, like
And that's
2016.
not unique to Kyle Shanahan. That's pretty much everybody, right? I mean,
But it's like 28-3 is unique to Kyle Shanahan. You know, like 20-10 in the fourth quarter is unique to Kyle Shanahan. Like he has some skeletons in his closet that Brock doesn't have. That no one. That's just him. And it's like, are you doomed to keep repeating the same mistake, or is this a triumphant story of change and growth in someone's early 40s? I think that we're all rooting for that because it gives us faith and hope for humanity. You know what I'm saying?
And yeah, just because you failed in the past doesn't mean you can't succeed. Andy Reid's a prime example, losing multiple NFC championship games, losing the Super Bowl against the Patriots, and then he gets with a new quarterback in Patrick Mahomes, and he's a big, hairy American winning machine. So we'll see. We'll find out at the end of the year. Josh Wyatt says, I'm enjoying this run, but McCaffrey is leading the league in carries and touches by a wide margin. The rest of the league will get better. Will the Niners?
That's a great question. I love that.
The rest of the league will get better. They better. They're close to the 49ers.
That's a little heavy-handed to say that, but maybe something like the Eagles will get better because right now with their new offensive coordinator, Ben Johnson, it's not looking like it looked last year with Shane Steichen. So either maybe he'll get better or maybe he's just not as good. But that's a big one right there because it looks like Steve Wilkes is going to eat that dude's lunch, burp in his face.
That's the thing. I'm probably overconfident right now, but I'm going to be overconfident. All right. Damn it. 30 points a game, every game, winning. What is it now? 16 straight, right? Or 15 straight. I can't even keep the damn number straight.
Yeah. But, you know, to Joshua's point, what happens if McCaffrey gets hurt? And to the previous Super Chatter's point, that seems to be like an unspoken point of emphasis for the rest of the league. Like, let's rough this dude up. So all it takes is one high ankle sprain or something awful, which happens all the time to players, for you to look at this team a little differently. That being said, Jordan Mason's nice.
That touchdown. I don't know if you heard the Cowboys radio call of that touchdown. Brad Sham is their play-by-play guy. He said there was a whole lot of for who, for what on that touchdown by the Cowboys defense. And if anybody doesn't remember
Ricky Waters.
Yes, that's Ricky Waters. He was on the Eagles.
Waters.
He short-armed a ball over the middle, and they called him on it after the game, like, hey, shouldn't you have gone all out for that? And his response was, for who, for what? Well done.
Such a bad answer, but such a classic answer. Jordan Mason. Who runs harder than Jordan Mason in the NFL? I'd like to know.
He is.
I don't think there is one.
You can tell when he gets in there. He's just so happy to be in and get the ball. He's like, I'm going to run through everybody because I'm getting
initiates the contact. Yeah, he initiates the contact too. Woo! He's so good. He's got to be the number 2 running back. Sorry, Elijah Mitchell. Jordan Mason. Yeah, so good. He could start. He would start for the Rams. I mean, he would start. I think he's better than James Conner. I think he's better than Kenneth Walker. Maybe I'm just a Jordan Mason homer. But the guy is He's
a little
really
homer.
good.
He's very good. No
I'll
doubt
take him over
about it.
James Conner.
Talking Head says, to Flav's point, it's rainy and 40 plus gusts. If you don't have to worry about a pass game, you can focus on the run, and Cleveland has the number one defense. Okay, but even if that's like the case, the Niners could still do screen passes. They could do short passes. Like,
They do that all the time. They don't throw down the field. The pass goes 10 yards, and everyone's like, oh, wow. But it's great because it's open and it works.
And again, how's Cleveland going to move the ball? You think Cleveland's going to run the ball on the 49ers? Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm overconfident, but I don't see it. Chris is back. He says, even if they slow our offense, there's no chance they beat us. Maybe if they still had Chubb, but PJ Walker is not beating us in a monsoon or perfect weather.